One of the things I find most intriguing about you is that you have gone through struggles in your life.
Oh, yeah, man.
But let's talk about before you actually got that entrepreneurial bug. Like, what was Mike like before business? Like,
man. I mean, just to give you a little bit of my story. So my mom and my dad, I grew up in domestic violence, right? So like my mom, and this is not a sorry Michael Barayev. This is just to motivate and inspire someone because, a lot of people walk around with this victim mentality with what they went through. And
100%.
I despise that because victim mentality is not a victor mentality. You need to have a victor mindset because you're never going to get out of that situation if you don't think that you're a champion and you're a winner. So just to kind of go through my story, my parents almost killed each other growing up. Like there was the police, the 112 precinct in New York. They literally called me by my building name. Oh, you're the 8911 kid, right? Every day, every week. And it was just very bad. So my parents almost killed each other. My father was very abusive. My father became really into religion. He was very forcing, very controlling. I couldn't even go out to play ball until I was 13 years old by myself. Like I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. Like it was a crazy, crazy situation. And I went through 9 schools and 8 of them kicked me out.
Wow.
So I wasn't that kid that you would say like, that's the guy I'm betting on and rooting for. As a matter of fact, people actually said, your kid is a menace to society. Your kid is not going to help anyone. Your kid, kids in school that hung out with me, their parents would be afraid to have them hang out with me. Right, it was scary for them. They used to always tell them, don't hang out with Michael. Like that was the thing.
So little Michael was aggressive. Was he violent? Like what?
I wasn't violent. I was just full of energy. I want to say bad. My father always said, you have a great heart. It's just your behavior sucks.
Okay.
Like academically, I was awesome, but things were like, I just understood things very well in school. Okay. I was sharp.
So it was easy for you.
It was super, I don't want to say easy like I was better than anyone. Just to me, it came natural to me. I was very sharp with the education. It was easy, but I couldn't pay attention because the teachers didn't know how to connect with someone like me. Like you can consider me like a hypomania maybe, right? Okay. And I'm actually reading a book about it because Christopher Columbus was a hypomania. Thomas Jefferson, Hamilton was a hypomania. There's a bunch of people, and it's not a bad thing. It's just we're different. We're different.
Neurodivergent. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
It's different. It's not normal, and most people don't know how to deal with people with our personalities. You can either end up being like a criminal, a bad person, like a Hitler or whatever, or you can become an amazing person like Christopher Columbus or Hamilton or George Washington. All those great people. So we have that chance and that choice to make as an individual. Okay. So, going through domestic violence, my mom and my dad got divorced at 13, 14 years old. My mom left me at 10 years old with my dad, which I had this abandonment issue because I felt like my mom didn't love me, that she kind of left me and threw me into my father's hands, which I didn't really want to be with. Right, so like that adolescent age, it was just crazy. Okay. So 0 to 19, I always say to everyone, my life was chaos. I can't remember any happy moments. I don't remember my dad kissing my mom ever. Like it was just chaos. Okay. 14, 15 years old, I ended up going to a Macy's, stealing a jacket because our friends kind of pressured us to do so. Okay. And I ended up in foster care. Oh, for 2-3 years, I was in foster care. Okay. Worst traumatic experience in my life because I was getting beat up. It was just waking up every single morning was people peeing on you, peeing in your shampoo bottle, stealing your clothes. Like it was crazy. It was a mess. It was ruthless.
That's rough.
So growing up, I ended up being so lonely that I didn't want to be friends with anyone because I was afraid that if I get close to someone, they're gonna hurt me. Mm-hmm. So I grew up with this pain, this chip on the shoulder. I'm gonna prove the world wrong, and that's kind of like how I became 18, 19 years old. I was like, I'm gonna become successful to prove all you haters, all you people that said I'm not gonna be doing anything, I'm gonna be a bum, I'm gonna end up doing all this bullshit. I ended up proving a lot of them wrong. That was like my driver. Right? I never did drugs, never did alcohol for that reason because I'm like, okay, everyone expected me to do drugs. Right. Everyone expected me to drink alcohol and do all these things.
You're going to prove
I'm going to prove them wrong. That was like my fire. Like that's what motivates me.
I love that. So you're 13 now. Your parents divorced at that point, 13, 14, somewhere in that age. Like the rest of your academic career was pretty reasonable because it came easy for you.
It was easy. It was just challenging because I was getting kicked out of schools every year and a half.
That's where I was just going to get to. So you're going to different
schools. Schools didn't want me. I got expelled out of 8 schools. Wow. 8 schools said, listen, we don't want your son.
This is all throughout New York area?
This is all New York.
Okay.
New York and then upstate New York. Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at your transition into adulthood, like what was that like? Was
scary.
Like did you go to university?
I mean, I went to LaGuardia Community College because the foster care program paid me to go. So I was like, I'm paying to go. I'll do it. Okay. But I was so confused. I was so lost. I lived my entire life with fear. Like they talk about having faith and having fear.
Yeah.
And you can't create decisions unless you have faith in your life. I was full of fear. I was so scared. I was scared of making money. I was scared of every time I got money, I started to hoard it because I was afraid of what's going to happen in the future. Because my life was very inconsistent. It was change all the time. Kicked out of this school, getting kicked out, went to Israel, ran away with my mom and my dad. You know, my mom ran away from my dad to Israel.
Wow.
And then we had to come back because we couldn't, handle that stress. So my life was always like change, chaos. And until I read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, I didn't like change.
That's a great book, actually.
Amazing book. Changed my life, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended. But that was an awesome book that said to me, change is a good thing.
Yes.
As long as you're changing the direction you choose to change.
Exactly.
Not just random change, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I love consistency, which is why I'm so disciplined. And that really just kind of that brooded me a lot. Like I had a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. I'm still working on it. I'm 30 years old. Yeah. I'm still figuring myself out to become the best version I can for myself and for my team. But like all that rubbish, that junk, I learned to work with it. I learned to let it go. I forgive my dad. I forgive I'm such a free person because I learned to let it go. And that was a very big lesson that I needed to learn in my early 20s.
I think a lot of people need to learn that in general because it can be so difficult to let go things that are so painful.
Yes.
Because obviously you take it personally. Like if this has happened to you, you're in a situation where your parents didn't express what you needed them to express to you, didn't create an environment that you needed to be able to thrive in. It's hard not to say, hey man.
It's hard, but you have to, like I said, you got to get out of the victim mentality. And nothing happened to me.
Right.
Everything happened for me exactly what I needed. Because if I didn't go through that, I don't think I'll be who I am today.
You wouldn't be Michael.
Not only would I be Michael, but I wouldn't be able to be the impactful leader that I am today. Not to say that I'm the best leader. No, I'm always working on it. But I know I can make a change and impact on other people because of my story, because of who I am. And a lot of people are afraid to share their story. Okay. They're afraid of, sharing that they got raped or sharing that they got robbed or they did some stupid stuff in their young childhood. It's okay. It doesn't define you.
Vulnerability is actually that thing that makes you connectable because everyone goes through those things. Everyone goes through hardship of some sort. Obviously not everyone goes through the same hardships that you personally went through, but if you're vulnerable and you make yourself basically your story known to others, they can connect with you in a more real way. And that's why you
100%.
have the following you have. That's why you have the people and community that you have around you because you're willing to share. I mean, you're willing to come on a podcast like this and just tell your real story.
Always, because I know there's one guy, that one person, you may be watching this right now and it changes your life, boom, my mission is complete. Because I know I was looking for a mentor. At 19, I made a decision. I need to change my life because I cannot keep going this way. I had demons in here beating me up, eating me alive. And I said, I need to make a change. I need to change my life somehow, some way. I need to find some kind of mentorship, some kind of business, some kind of group, something. And that's how I got started at 19 with one of my mentors meeting me in the gym.